Good morning and welcome to our video series on circus greats. Today we're going to take a look at Lillian Leitzel, Queen of the Air. Born January 2nd, 1892 in Breslau, Germany, her father was a Hungarian theater performer and her mother was a Czechoslovakian circus performer. She was raised to become a concert pianist, but eventually joined her mother's acrobatic circus group, the Lillian Ladies, in 1905. The troupe consisted of her aunts Tina and Tony Pelican, her mother Nellie Pelican, and Lily Simpson. In 1908, they were fortunate enough to join the Barnum and Bailey Circus in the United States. After a couple years, the troupe returned to Europe, but Lillian stayed here, mastering her craft. In 1914, she was seen by a ringling agent in South Bend, Indiana, and signed for the 1915 season. She debuted with the Ringling Brothers' World's Greatest Shows on April 17, 1915 in Chicago, where she became an instant sensation. Only 4 feet 9 inches tall and weighing 95 pounds, she was famous for her demanding personality and temper. She was also the very first person in the history of the Ringling Circus to command her own private Pullman car, completely furnished with her own baby grand piano. She married sideshow manager Clyde Ingalls in 1920. The couple divorced in 1924. Over the years, Lillian would grace several different posters for the Ringling Brothers Circus and the combined Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Some film of her was found from 1928 that gives just a small portion of what her routine was all about. You can see the athleticism that went into her sensational act. She had her own private dressing room on the lot where she took care of all the children on the show, many of them being favorites, calling her Auntie, children she did not have of her own. She found true love herself again in 1928 when she married Alfredo Condona, the great flyer, and became part of his flying act, the Flying Condonas. Moving on to Europe, they both performed in different towns, and on February 13th, 1931, her one-arm planges, of which she would do over 100 at each performance, served to be the cause of her death when the swivel snapped, dropping her to the ground. She didn't die immediately, but 2 days later, the great Lillian Leitzel was gone at the age of 39. She was returned to California and buried in Inglewood Park Cemetery. Lillian Leitzel was the very first inductee elected into the Circus Hall of Fame in 1958.